Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected adjudicators, members of both government and opposition. After graduating the universities, it seems to not possible to live. It is the situations currently in this world, isn't it? Yes, of course. The youth unemployment rates is increasing in this world. Can't believe the capitalism has affected on its peak on this world, in its future, and in its present days, and in its histories too. No, we can't reaffirm the capitalism, but we need to stabilize the situations. But we can't recapture it. So, the motion for today's debate is, this House believes that professional universities should provide jobs for the graduates. So, what is our key words to define in this debate? Professional universities. According to Collins Dictionary, a postgraduate school or college which trains students for a particular profession. And graduate means, according to Oxford Dictionary, a person who has successfully completed a course of study or training, especially a person who has been awarded an undergraduate or first academic degree. And from these parameters of debate, this topic takes place with these parameters, and I would like to extend with that parameters, and we close all other extensions from this other than these parameters. So what is our model of dealing with these issues? We will provide 6 arguments which is very firm and very paramount importance in this debate. And I, as the Prime Minister, will provide 2 arguments, and which will open this debate, and our upcoming Deputy Prime Minister will again provide 2 new arguments to stabilize this debate, and our upcoming member will extend this topic to another level. So let me come to my first argument. My first argument is that professional universities must be truthful to its basic meaning. As we told in this definition, professional universities are universities which provide a school or college which trains students for a particular profession. What if they oppose it? They will truly encourage to oppose the literal meaning of this and the contextual meaning of this definition, which is totally impossible in this debate, because it will go forth from this motion. And I think that there should be a basic meaning on this topic. Just propose this motion, because the basic mean, if the basic meaning is opposed, what is the place of debate there? Because the discussion is going on vain, because the basic meaning isn't provided in their debate, in the opposition debate. And let me come to the second argument. To withstand the youth's unemployment rate, according to NASCOM, of the 3 million joining IT work, only 3.84% of the students or graduates are employed, which is a faculty, of course.
POI. If you are saying that a professional university only becomes a professional university if it provides jobs, then what do you think of many professional universities which do not provide? Aren't they professional universities?
Okay, I get you. You are just misinterpreting our arguments or our statement, because I didn't say that all the other professional universities which didn't provide any jobs will not become a professional university. We just say that to become truthful to its meaning, it must provide jobs. That's what we got here. And you are just misinterpreting, and with the distortions of misrepresentation, with misquotation of a self-serving, selective, defensive arguments on your side. And let me continue on my second argument. According to Tunisia, according to Debate ORC, 40% of university students are unemployed. I mean, the graduated students are unemployed, which again stabilize our motion, which again stabilize the proposition, which again show the reasons why we propose this motion. We need to withstand it. Let me quote the famous quote by Calvin Coolidge: "The final solution for unemployment is work." Yes, of course, the final solution for unemployment is work, and the work must be good to every person in this for every ungraduated students. Because what if they just graduated? That means the end of the life? No, they need to live more. They need to live because from there starts the living. From there starts the basic structures of a man, of a youth, of a young man. And you are just demotivating them from their structures and from their old promoted educations, careers, from their youth success. I think you are just opposing the success of youthful peoples because you are just opposing this motion because you don't need work. What if we can't live this world without work? Yes, it is correct. Money isn't everything in this. Money isn't everything, but we need to survive it. Survive in this era. Money need to survive, and we need work for that. Or it not be got from any trees or any free like in fairy tales. I think that you are taking upon a mere utopian theory to continue with an opposition arguments, and we just assume a situation where all graduated students doesn't provide any jobs from the universities. What if they just work like that be? Yeah, they may be die. They may be die on the hunger or any other atrocities by the jobs that didn't got from there. And I think that we really got a powerful proposition to propose this motion because the unemployment arises in the youth's condition and we need to change it. We need to change this world. We need to stabilize this world. And I beg the adjudicators to propose this motion. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Chairpersons and respected both proposition and opposition. And of course, my beloved friends. So, welcome to this debate. And we are having a very interesting debate today. Most of the debate today is this House believes that professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates. And with the opposition from this debate, as we are opposing the motion, this House believes that professional universities shouldn't provide jobs for their graduates. We as today have structured our debate as follows. I, as the first speaker, will be coming up with one argument, and our second deputy leader, second speaker, will be elaborating that argument and will be coming up with another argument. And our third speaker will be doing the rebuttal and will be coming the extensions, and our whip will be summarizing this debate. So, for a start, universities, something just like that. That's the students. They have to study. They have to get the career, which means that whatever they are dreaming in the future, that should be developed in their universities. That's what universities. Otherwise, they can be studied or they can be learned in other jobs, in other streets for looking at jobs. Because that's not whatever they're doing is not only for the jobs. Because they have to study a lot. And even the universities, it is not a self-building or new apartments or no investments, because that if that's all the things that's really imbibing in these universities, that's not the university. Because the university should really provide whatever the studies, whatever the career achievements, which means the way that which means that the collaboration or the path making. It's only the path making. Even it's not something that providing the jobs, and even that's not their mandatory. That's not compulsory. Let me come to my arguments. Before I come to my own arguments, let's have a look. Yeah, go ahead.
The motion for today's debate is to provide for their graduates from the professional universities, not from mere universities. You are insisting on the word university.
Absolutely, your answer comes from your question. Because the professional university is not meant by that professional job or the job that's what's really meant for the universities. And also, before I come to my arguments, Before I come to my arguments, let's have a look at what the Prime Minister has said here. In the professional universities, that must be truthful to their students. Even it's really being proclaimed to the students and being really declaring to the students that the professional universities, that's what here, because that's not only to get them study, but also that's also this university is also providing the jobs. because there is no professional universities that's really ordering us, that's really hanging us to get the study, because every professional universities, what they want is a best student, a best person, or best people that should be out of the world. And that's what the people coming to these universities for the better study and for better their career development, future shiny, future briny. That's what the people, what they are really becoming in the future for the best of the jobs. And even not the universities, that's what giving that's what providing the jobs for them, because it's just like a spoon feeding, which means spoon feeding. Actually, if a mother and child, that the mother really it's really rearing the student or child, and after he becomes a child, a boy, still that mother doesn't really spoon feeding or doesn't really give the food into that student's mouth or that child's mouth. And that's what the point of the professional universities is like that. The professional university is not just like the ordinary person or ordinary company, just like giving something that the students or what even, just let me come to my argument. First argument is making less competitive. Even providing the universities, if providing professional universities, that's what the point. Professional universities is providing the jobs for their graduates, then why should they study? Or why should they study as a competitive study? Because the study or the learning material, whatever they're occurring in the professional universities, is not kind of something that for their future, which means that for their survival and for the future life, it's really something, a big advancement. Whatever they're developing, whatever they're improving skills, talents, and everything, there will be something that's like a lapse, some kind of a collapse, and definitely this will be collapsing if, yeah, go ahead.
You said that universities which, we have said that universities which train students for a particular profession, and you are challenging the definitions while you are not bringing a new definitions.
Yeah, actually, to your answer, coming to your answer, definitely the professional university is not something. Professional universities for professional jobs, which means that the professional university is really giving this, really providing something, a big talent, a skill development for the students and for the people or for the students what they study in the university. And absolutely that's what the professional university is giving. And even if this professional university is giving the jobs, then why should they study in so competitive way? Because perhaps the people will have a lot of dreams, and even with them moving to the dreams, perhaps there may be a fun reason or any kind of troubles, obstacles, difficulties that they have to face, that they have to just pass over. But before just passing over all these problems, even the professional universities giving or providing the jobs to the students or jobs to the graduates, definitely that would be something that very remarkable thing that for the world, because every people, those who are living in the world, they are really achieving or they are really dreaming a lot, even bound of the world. At the time, if the professional university is giving the jobs for the graduates, definitely this will be a big collapse for the students, and even this will be leading to the inequality. For example, according to US, 4.86% gets jobs, and others are getting outside because of the different dreams, passions, and everything, whatever they are really acquiring, because of perhaps there may be obstacles and difficulties. But the people, they are not looking for the obstacles, they are not even catering to the obstacles, because whatever they are facing, whatever they're dreaming, they are really following up the dreams before just not getting the professional universities what they really giving or providing the jobs. They are not taking that, because this, even if this is really motivated or inspired for the students, definitely it will be leading into a big collapse, into a big obstructions, big obstacles, and that's why so I conclude. Thank you all.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Honorable adjudicators, and my beloved members of both government and opposition. A very good morning to everyone. And we are here to discuss the motion. This House believes that professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates. So, I am the Deputy Prime Minister of the government, We are for the motion. We argue that professional university should provide their jobs for their graduates. Now, before I come to my essential procedures of bringing to firm arguments. Let me rebut those arguments, those absurd fallacious or arguments proposed by the opposition. Oh, there are a lot. And first one is, they're just challenging the motion of our discussion. You know, our motion is professional universities. Professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates. I think much of their talks were on the basis of universities and professional universities are much same thing. And just difference is professional is something big, big knowledge and big skills, and other universities same regular universities. That's not the difference. We have defined the definition of the professional university very clear. What was the definition? Which the professional university is the university where students are trained, the graduates are trained for particular professions. And there are one of their arguments were the students, the graduates of the universities, they're eager or will be keen to study in various knowledge, and also, but what the purpose of these universities is to train them a particular profession. If one student or one graduate is eager or very decided to study a particular profession, he only admit this professional university, not other students. Only those who are decide or very keen to study in a particular job or particular profession is able to.
PY.
Please, sir, say. Okay.
Is it wrong to study more than one profession? You are hanging on that one should study a profession in keen to get the job for it. Is it wrong to study one more than one profession?
Thank you. Our motion is studying a particular profession. If a university is based on a particular profession, he will study in that university, not the other university. If he is decide to study from another university, then another university is which will be particular for their profession, particular for their desired profession. He should be admitted in their professions. Not if the main purpose of a university is to be trained their particular profession. And they proposed another argument that the students, you know, like the mothers, they proposed that if we provide them works or jobs, it's like feeding them foods like small students. Oh, what absurd argument is that? You know, nowadays many business companies or many entrepreneurships are providing work, jobs, and arguments. Are you seeing those things just like feeding foods? No, it's not a feeding foods. It's part of their career. The purpose of a career, the purpose of a university is to mold the students who are able, the word able, I underline, who are able to work, to study on their particular subjects. So, it's not a feeding, it's the work, the ability to work, to train them to the ability to work is a part of their career. So coming to my first argument is the professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates because it should, without it, unless its lack of ability of work should be possessed in these students. You know, if there is no jobs are advocated by the professional universities, they wouldn't be able to work. The purpose of a university is to mold the students who are able to work. The ability, I underline once again, the ability to work, the career. the main purpose of the career is to bring an ability to work in their career. If it's not provided in these universities, who would provide them? You are thinking just they should wander on the here and there to search for their jobs and argue their professions. It's not a duty for it's not reasonable for a graduate. So, according to the BAS graduate survey 2020, about 42% of graduates graduating in a year are unemployed. It's because of their lack of ability to work. And my second argument, it's if we provide the jobs, professions for the graduates, it should encourage students and it should bring encouragement to students for study in these professional universities, and this builds and this breeds and competitiveness and rise the value of credibility of a professional university. We have said that a university is not as same as professional university. Professional universities has some big quality to some big rate and something. So if we encourage them, giving them proper argument for proper jobs and professions, it should encourage students and graduates to study, to come to admit these universities, to be a part of this knowledge production society. And thank you. So our argument is the university should provide jobs for the graduates. And thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. Respected panel, my friends from opposition and government and their audience, we are having a hot debate about whether universities, professional universities, should be obliged to provide job or not. And I am the deputy leader of the opposition, and we strongly oppose the motion of this house that professional universities should provide job for their graduates. Before coming to my own argument, let me rebut what the government have proposed. Firstly, a lot of their argument was based, their rebuttal of Deputy Prime Minister was based on that about definition of university. That the opposition is changing the definition and something like that. But let me say, we are not talking about a university, but a professional university. At the same time, the government must understand that professional university is a university. Before the word comes before profession, that it's a university. So it's not the out of purview. Okay, continue.
Of course, it's a university.
Yes.
But if the word comes before the word university, professional universities, it is obliged to give and train its graduates a particular profession. It is obliged to do so. That's what we said.
Yes, of course. It's obliged to train, not to give them jobs. That's what you are saying.
If they give training, what's the purpose of giving a training for a particular job without giving any job opportunities to them? I don't understand.
You are saying, I think that I'm forced to repeat myself. And now coming to second rebuttal, we didn't say there are many different courses, so that's why they should not provide jobs. But our argument was making less competitive, and he also used spoon feeding. By spoon feeding, it was It was not our argument. We said that it's like a spoon feeding. But our argument was that spoon feeding will lead to less competitiveness of the students. Now coming to my argument.
Right?
Okay.
You have said that spoon feeding in your argument. It means that spoon feeding is a part of your argument, and spoon feeding is a part of the lack of their jobs, as you tell.
I think there are two questions to be answered in your argument. First thing is, spoon feeding is our argument. That's not correct, because we said that it's like a spoon feeding and it will lead to making students less competitive. That's our argument. And also that they will not have work. That's not the question. The employment is to be provided by government, not to the universities. By saying this, you are changing the responsibility of this government to a university. Now my argument is it challenges basic institution of a professional university. Because in 2015, while having a debate about in election, US presidential election, a senator said that why we are having a lot of universities which provides only philosophies and things like that. But what she was saying was that the university should also provide jobs, and if there is no if universities are not providing jobs, then why we are having universities, professional universities? As you assumed, that senator didn't make to parliament. She was defeated. Because the basic institution of a professional university is not to give job, but to train the students for their future. Historically, who is the people that is forcing this argument that universities should provide a job also, that professional universities should provide a job also? Those who are saying this is politicians. If you look into the statistics, these are the arguments of politicians and not the academicians. The academicians are saying, for example, Phillips Griffiths. He says that the aim of every educational institution, whether it is a professional or a liberal arts institution, is scientific inquiry. The universities are not job providers. They are the place for students to have scientific inquiry. But by giving the burden of giving jobs to students, it challenges the basic institution of any universities, whether it is a professional university or a liberal arts university. We all know that there are many unemployment. Their one of argument was there are many unemployment. The students should have jobs, but we are saying that it is not the job of a universities to provide a job, but the basic institution of a university is giving students scientific inquiry and to lead them to jobs. And also, we had also talk about trainings. But we all know that there are many training programs in every universities, and also there are many other programs. Before graduating, there will be exchange between companies. So thank you. I'm reiterating my argument. It challenges the basic institution, professional university.
Respected adjudicators, honorable and venerable members of both opposition and government, good morning. Lovely to see you all here today. I shall not keep you long. I know as a student of 12 years long university life, I will not keep you long, I assure you. The motion today is about college university graduates, giving them the opportunity for jobs. Not opportunity, sorry, to give them jobs. Relating to the so-called dichotomy which you proposed, it's about the philosophical and psychological extents I'm going to give. Reading the two abilities which you just presented is about the argumentation style I'm just proposing. Creating two dichotomy doesn't make sense. So, I say that declining their own arguments is not about a politician, because you just bring the politician on your first argument itself. Relating these two arguments, I can say that a clean sheet of argumentation has come forward to create the humanity proposed. So the purpose is simple, to create a degradation in humanity itself. So the related cover base is professional university, which really states that relating to humanity doesn't fit here tonight. To keep, there is little need for academic skills without applying them. I shall say that relieving humanity into proportional disagrees is not the creativity relating to educational skills. It may relieve that creating a disability can create humanity to disabilize them to the next movement or future. But the epistemological view which John Locke has given is that when a human perspective requires knowledge, it has to be fed through any academical works or something that kind of jobs. So the two options is that works or jobs. Work is a job, that's first question I have here. That creating a dichotomy which is really falsehood can create that the next notion of youth can be disrupted by your opposition. And opposing this motion has been erupted for the humanity itself, so I kindly request to rethink your proposition or position. There should be nothing alien in the idea of max graduates running a hospital department or a classic students going into engineering. Where does the two difference comes from? Relating to human, contribution does make humans to thrive on, and this thrive on belongs to a next future, and future belongs to our humans itself. So graduating is the next step of humans development, and development is humans need, and human does not need a creation without results, and results is given by their jobs, which jobs is contributing to humanity, and humanity itself is contributing to development, and this development is what's proposing by the government for the humanity itself. So the development will bring change in the future life for us, and this future is what we need from the government itself.
PY?
Yes, of
So
course.
what is compulsory for the university to give their graduates job in here?
Compulsory is not the opposition we have graduating. We are saying that we should give jobs by the propositional value that graduates colleges should give, not about the opportunistic question that we will discuss in the future, I said so. First, literary moving force, I'm going to extend it into the psychological beliefs. I have two arguments today here. Relativity doesn't bring that Einstein didn't give a propositional argument for giving a birth to itself. Theory does contribute to practical assessment, but theory doesn't give birth to practical assessment. These two contributions lets us to know that humanity does thrive on to development, but it doesn't concern that it should be given the educational purpose on epistemological view. It is clearly states that humanity does know that creating an opportunistic way does ought to believe that in this dichotomy, so-called dichotomy, I mean say, that this does not rely on our proposition itself, that the humanity can thus have two oppositions, that there should be nothing literary meaning falsehood in this debate. As I've said that professional, as our Prime Minister said that, professional universities have the meaning of professionality, which really constitute that Professional means the work for job relating to creating a humanitarian purpose where this creation has begun as a future relationship with the government purpose for the humanity itself, for the thriving and giving the shape which is decreasing unemployment, which is decreasing ability, which is to encourage standards of education system in India itself. So where does the questions come from? Relating to humanity and these concepts of psychology and philosophy, we gave 3 answers which is really contributed to our emotions. Logical analysis of a human beings can contribute into 5 more arguments. Creating a session for humans does give the employment to grieving a graduate student into a spoon-feeded question like you have just said, that relieving a human to give its epistemological value can create a new opportunity, and this opportunity is what we need today, and we kindly request that relating the professional career is about creating jobs, and definition has been challenged. Child and mother are same as every human, that graduated schools should contribute the humanity itself, and that's why we are proposing the promotion which is creating a future for humans itself. And spoon-feeding argument have given a little explanatory explanation that we have just proposed for the contribution relieving to humanity as a government itself, and I kindly request our opposition to collaborate with us with this motion and propose our motion for the only cause we are having here, to promote the educational value, to promote the human society, to promote the human itself for the thriving of future. Thank you very much for having your time.
Honorable judicators and my beloved friends from the 2 benches, the government bench and our opposition bench. Today on this in this morning, we all have gathered here on a hot debate whether this house believes that professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates. And as I'm the member of the opposition from our opposition bench, we really oppose the topic of the motion, the topic of the debate. As we know that there are the reasons we have been put forth by our Prime Minister, our opposition leader and the Deputy Opposition Leader has been clear. And my duty here is to rebut what the government has been saying far here in this debate. And to extend our argument. But before going to our extension, let me rebut what they have been saying. Let me look what they have been saying. We all know that we have been discussing here about the professional university, not about the university, mere university. That's clear. We are talking about the IITs, BTech colleges, universities, not this mere university. That's clear. I think that the government is now clear about what we have been talking about, what we have been intended by the universities. The word we use, the universities, is definitely in this circumstance. It's about the professional universities. But, okay.
To say a word university definitely can't mean as a professional university. It have different 2 meanings. Then why we have to use and propose the word professional university?
Yeah, before you are saying to our team, I think you need to say to your member of the government, because he had said that colleges and universities, he had been spoken here, saying that college and universities. What can you say to him? And
point of information.
Coming to the rebuttal side, we know that it is the government's duty to provide the jobs to the graduates, to the people, not the university president, not the universities. What the government is trying to do here is that they are trying to put their responsibility to the university's head. Not because there are, when we are working to the government side, we know that there is the Minister of Labor and Employment. Their duty is to provide the employment for the people, for the graduates, for the people who have been graduated from the universities, not the university itself. Why is compulsory? Why you are making compulsory for universities? Then we know that they have been hanging on to their argument, saying that this is unemployment that create unemployment. There is many rate. They are saying that there is this much rate of unemployment here in this country, in this world, and we need to. And they are proposing a way that the universities should give a job to the graduates. Let me say, that's not. Is that the only way to remove the unemployment? The unemployment means that it is a lack of opportunities. If there is no opportunities, then how we will give the jobs? So when there is the opportunities, it is the
Point of
people.
information.
Okay.
If the universities are giving jobs, then isn't that an opportunity?
We are not saying that the opportunity shouldn't give, but we are saying that there will be some universities giving jobs, some graduates, not for all graduates. That's an opportunity. But we are not saying that if you are making, the government is bringing up a law and we have to pass it from this debate. But when we are looking to the implementation, if you are implementing that, you are trying to remove your responsibility from the universities, to universities' head. It is like saying that the MVD who gives us license should also provide us the car to drivers. Is it fair to think about like that? The MVD to give us a car to drive after getting a license? And the Prime Minister of the government have been saying that on their first argument that it must be truthful to basic mean. So the one who has been said here, the definition of the professional university is the government itself. The government has been saying that the professional university is a university where students are trained for particular professions, are trained not for giving their opportunities or not for giving jobs, please consider, not for giving jobs for their graduates. The university should provide the graduates to what the graduates should require for receiving a job from a company, not providing a job in this perspective manner.
Point of information.
Sorry, later. Our first argument has been cleanly said that it would remove competitiveness. That's what we are saying, that when we are trying to implement, we're not trying to put the responsibility to our university's head. We're not saying that universities should provide the jobs for the students. Then it will take off the competitiveness minds from the people, the students. If the university is not providing a job, there will be interviews. There will be many other ways for a student or graduate to receive jobs from a company. Sometimes it will be from interview. From that, the company will receive the most wanted worker for their company. And due to the lack of time, I'm moving to my extension. And my extension is that it is not the responsibility of the universities to bring up, to look for a job for the graduate. It is the responsibility for the government to look for the jobs. There are many universities in the world. There are many students studying under this college, professional universities. There are many BTech colleges. There are many. When you are saying that the universities should provide jobs, how can a university provide these thousands of students jobs in an effective manner? That's what we are trying to say. You are trying, what the government have been trying so far is that to remove their responsibility from their head and to change their and put this responsibility over the university's head. They have been freeing their space. And I'm concluding. Thank you.
Respected adjudicators, honorable members of both government and opposition. Today, I am here as the whip of government, standing with a great relief that we have stated the professional universities should be obliged to give job opportunities to their graduates with our decisive arguments. Firstly, we have argued that they should be truthful to themselves. Firstly, everyone have to understand the word professional. The word professional university. What we have proposed the motion in our definition. Professional universities are those universities who trains the pupil for a particular profession. If they are trained for a particular profession, why they have to seek any other options? You have been saying that why they can't train any multi-talented options like any doing from their part. My question is that make sense to become a doctor and to get an MBBS and become an MBBS graduate and to work in a supermarket as an employee? Does that make any sense? I won't get any sense. Secondly, we argue that to decrease the unemployment of youth. They are saying that to feed the pupil, to feed the graduate is in the purpose of the universities. They are obligated with the word to train the particular profession to a particular personalities. They are obligated to give them the jobs, and it's not about the feeding. My question is, they are arguing with the government, giving the job opportunities from the part of government. Is that the feeding? Isn't that the feeding from the part of government? Is that giving any feeding from the part of government in a spoon? I don't get any sense. And they are declaiming their own arguments. They were declaiming their own arguments, and after the PI from our part, they were agreeing with our argument. They were insisting on the word. They were insisting on the word spoon feeding. We are saying that to give food to every humanity is the purpose of themselves, and to give the job opportunities is from the part of the professional universities, which are obligated to give them the jobs, actually. And we thirdly argue that lacking the ability to work. I want to say that if they are trained in a particular profession, do they know any other profession? They can conceive any other talents rather than the ability which they have conceived from the particular universities? They wouldn't be able to do any other job. They aren't meant to do. They aren't supposed to do or working on an employee or in a supermarket after graduating an MBBS. It doesn't make any sense to become a doctor from an MBBS universities and to become an employee in a supermarket. Are they supposed to do so? It doesn't make any sense. And fourthly, you have argued that encourage students to study. You have to understand, study and getting knowledge, the epistemological value of a human to study in every single day of life are obligated to be a human, and to give a job opportunity will make them more consider to study and to participate in the option to get the jobs, actually. And they're saying that sometimes in the interview they can get the jobs sometimes from the interviews. We are obligated to move away the word sometimes and give every human employment with giving them every single one the opportunities from their own universities. And why they are saying that about the universities, they were insisting on the word universities rather than professional universities, and they have been giving some evidence for their having said about the universities, and they have definitely challenged the motion of professional universities, which we proposed the definition from our Prime Minister, and they challenged the motion without saying any other option or any other definition for the word professional university. They have to say about then what is a professional university? If it is such a university, is it like a country? Is it like a university which used to make them studies? And what is the mean? What is the purpose to become the word professional before the word university? Why they have to put a word the professional before the university? The word university. And so, thirdly, they have been refuting without giving a definite answer for our POIs. Definitely, they don't have any answer for our POIs. Shows that they have known what to do. What to do after the graduation? What will they do after they have been graduated? There is the man to be meant to become an inventor after graduation. If the man is them supposed to wander on something like in the street after being a graduated from an MBBS college, is he meant to do so? I don't get any sense in that. And they have been cherry picking with the arguments. They were quoting with cherry picks without any evidence, which will stabilize their own motion. And they will challenging the motion without any without any definition from their part. And they have to understand to encourage students to study in a definite purpose. They have argued about the encouragement to study. They are meant to study. A man has to be steady. I really am saying that to give them the job opportunity, definitely make them more encouraged to study rather than making them unemployed, rather than making them wander on the streets after the graduates. We have said that according to NASCO, there have been reports which shows you how the unemployment rate of engineering students in India. And we beg the adjudicators to propose our motion and to avoid their illogical and logical and the arguments which encircle with the logical fallacies. Thank you everyone.
Honorable chairs and the benches of the both government and opposition, for an MBBS graduate, supermarket is not the only job other than doctor. Or getting into my business, here the motion was the government or the House believes that professional universities should provide jobs for their graduates. And we as the opposition are here to oppose their motions and to provide a better one than that. Okay. First of all, I get you. As a government, it is a duty for them to look after their people. It is up to them. And I get what their motion really means. And I thank them for coming up with such a motion, but they have to be a bit more specific and to be a bit more ideological in their manners. Okay, talking about the definitions and why we haven't come up with a new definition, because there doesn't need to be any, because the definition is very clear from what they had taught, that the professional universities is the one that trains people for a particular profession. Nowhere there had told that giving job for the one who had graduated from them. And why do we need to come up with a new definition than what they had come up with? And they had rhymed with a lot of arguments which aren't really stable and which are a copy of the first one, and the second one is the same one, xeroxed mirrorly. Okay, they had firstly told that the unemployment is the reason is unemployment for employing the people and to come across the unemployment. Looking for the reason for unemployment in India, it is clearly and specifically and crystally, it is overpopulation. And they had asked about giving jobs will come across giving passing across the unemployment. Giving jobs, what if we give jobs for all the people? The thing that will happen is over employees in a single company. Having over employees lead to financial crisis. Then the economic of a country will come down, and a country will fall, giving over employees to a single company. Or the other thing, to happen will be the college providing jobs for them under the colleges, and that will also happen to give the same over employee status for the thing. And they had standed upon our argument of spoon feeding. Come off it, man. We hadn't put it as an argument. We had told it as a word of expression, not use it as an argument. Our argument was about making students less competitive, and we had come up with the word spoon feeding as a replica of the word of giving them jobs, not as an argument. And their first argument was to be truthful to what the professional universities were offering, and their own definition had rebutted their motion, their first argument. And going to the second one, to withstand the youth unemployment. To withstand the unemployment, we have to create new opportunities, not just new workers or new graduates. We have to come up with new opportunities for what we have to do afford. We have to come up with new opportunities, not new workers who has no work in this place, just to wander around or to become over employees or to become a wait for a company. And they had come up with the words of Colleen, to come over unemployment is to get new jobs. Yet it is to get new jobs which we have to provide to ourselves, and new areas, and recover new areas which aren't being yet found. And as a historical truth, we all know that every progression human had made had decreased the chances for human. But after time, human had developed and found a new opportunity, a new lobe to work in than what it had been before. And talking about hunger, dying in hunger, not just the graduates are dying in hunger, undergraduates or not graduates are dying in hunger. What if we wake a man up and give him food and ask him, are you a graduate? Oh no, there is no food for you, there is no work for you. That's not the thing. We have to, as a government, you have to take effort every person and if he is graduated or not graduated. And the third argument was lack of ability to work in career. In career, we are talking about career. We are speaking about career because after graduation is where a career of working starts. And there is no basis for the argument in their own words. And speaking about lack of ability, what a professional college does is giving job instructions, coachings, committee assignments, and internships. That's very specific, and the government has to study more deeply on what a professional college is giving. And by giving this, they are apt to work, and they are apt to work and to get a new job for themselves. And we are speaking of our arguments. Our first one was making students less competitive, and it is a universal truth that if you are giving to somebody easily, they will become lazy of doing things. And our second one was challenging the basic institution of a professional university. And our member had explained it very well, and we extended our motion by saying that it is a duty of government and not the universities. If you are burdening up the university for a thing that has to be done by the government, it is not easy for them. It will ease only for the government, not for the people around here. And by our arguments and by our conclusion, I recommend that the government should come up with a better plan and meet us, and we will be with you for sure for your new arguments. And I thank you.
फिर से जीत होगी, फिर से दो जहान पाएंगे, फिर से अपना कब्ज होगा, फिर से खिल खिलाएंगे, अपनी सल्तनत को देखो फिर से लेके आएंगे, फिर से इक़्तिदार मोहब्बत का फन सिखाएंगे, अपना फन से अवगुना से आसमां को जीत लो, जीत होगी फिर से अपनी सारे मिलके बोल दो, तुम ही असद करबला हो अंदलुस के शेर।